Hey, welcome back to another Q&A session video here on the Back 40 Firewood channel. If this is your first time watching a Q&A video, what it is I take questions from the previous Q&A video, which was I think 2 weeks ago, and I answer them in the video while I run some footage of like some wood being split, and then it just gives a better way for me to answer questions other than the live stream on Friday night. So it's like an alternative to the live stream, because sometimes Friday nights get to be a little crazy. It is a gloomy, rainy afternoon here. It is actually the 4th of July, Independence Day. All of our plans for today were canceled due to the weather. We've been having rain all morning and afternoon now. It's still drizzling. So with nothing else really going on, and nothing really to do back in the wood yard today, I thought it was a good opportunity to do another little Q&A here, quick. Just sitting out here on the porch, enjoying the afternoon as much as I can. Like I said, even with the rain coming down. So this, like I mentioned, Q&A video. If you are watching this and you have a question and you would like to ask it, leave it down in the comments of this video. And then on my next Q&A video, which maybe next week or the week after, whenever I get to it, I'll take the questions left in the comments from this video. I'll pick out a few and I'll answer them on the next video. So with that, let's dive right into it here. And we will go to our first question from Mega Mike. Do you see yourself setting up another stand someplace or selling bundles at a store in the future? Currently, at this moment, I do not. I've had a couple opportunities and a couple things that I've thought about possibly doing another stand somewhere here locally. But right now, honestly, I've been keeping up busy enough with my own roadside stand here in bundles that I just don't really right now have the desire to expand out and have either another stand or even get into like selling at a convenience store somewhere. Just because there's a few other logistic things with the convenience store to go through, and like I said, I've been staying busy enough right here out of my own stand that right now, not really on the horizon, but perhaps someday. I never like to say never, so maybe some point. The Woodhound Bug. Why does your dad put in a boiler instead of one in the basement? It would be much more easy for him, or does he like having it downstairs? All right, so I think you're wondering why we haven't put an outdoor wood boiler down on the farm. It would be easier probably for him and my mom to load an outdoor wood boiler twice a day, other than going down into the basement and putting wood in, every few hours. The thing, however, I think one of the big factors is just that with the outdoor wood boiler, I think their wood consumption would increase quite a bit. So I think they would maybe go from like burning 5 cords a year to maybe 10 or more. And I think just having the need for that, a higher inventory on hand, having way more wood on hand to burn, I think that's one of the big factors. Plus, it would take probably a little bit longer to recoup the savings that you would, to pay for the boiler. And they don't run just straight wood heat all winter. They do have propane that they then, as much as they can, they run the wood stove and they burn wood. But I just think that increase in the amount of wood that would be needed, because with the boilers, it's not like once you get it going and your water is up to temp, you don't want to really let that shut down, and then start it back up, because then you're probably end up actually burning way more wood because you have to get your water all the way back up to temp. So yeah, I think just the amount of wood that he would potentially end up burning with the boiler is kind of one of the main reasons why they've just stuck with the wood stove. Plus, the wood stove works great, and so if it's not broke, you don't fix it. And plus, boilers now are getting pretty spendy. All right, Dennis. When you picked up the Yappa, was it worth the investment? I see you using the Wolfrid splitter more than the Yappa. I'm looking at one, but only if I use it all the time. It might start paying for itself. Is it worth it in the long run? So the big thing with the Yappa, and whether or not to be able to tell if it's going to be worth it or not, is your access to material that you can run through it. Because it is limited on size, and the straighter the better. So for me, when I get material in, I usually set it aside, the smaller stuff, and then when I have some of it, I run it through the Yappa, because it does make processing firewood a lot easier. But I just don't get that much firewood in that I can run through it. Now, if I was, back to Mike's question, if I had another stand, if I was selling bundles to a store, if I had all that going on and I had a need to produce a lot more like bundle wood, I would probably then be buying smaller logs, getting logs brought in, and then the Yappa would definitely be worth it. The other thing is I actually did not buy that Yappa. It was given to me on like a demo program to use it to make content with and to try it out and just see, to show how it worked in a situation like mine. So so it's kind of hard to say that, if it has been worth it from an investment point, because I don't have anything really invested in it right now. But it definitely has its place. Like I said, if I had a lot more material that I could run through it, I would probably run it all the time. It's just that getting your wood from tree services, the tree service, they usually take all the 6 to 10 inch diameter stuff and they chip it. So they're chipping everything that would be ideal material for the Yappa. So you just have to look at that, what you're going to be doing with it, if you're going to be making a lot of bundle wood, and if you have access to the material to run through it. But that's the big question. But I definitely think they are a heck of a machine, and they are well worth, if you can get the material, and then if you're moving the wood, if you're getting the material in and you're sending the material out. John, I am in the market for an affordable log splitter that won't turn out to be a piece of garbage, but won't break the bank at the same time. I was wondering if you had a recommendation. For big box store splitters, if you're looking that route, if that's, like kind of the affordable, the entry level, I guess, tier, and those actually are getting kind of to be a little spendy. But they make some, like County Line. That's a good splitter. I mean, a lot of guys run the County Line splitter. The other thing, though, I would probably recommend is just to look around and maybe see if you can find something on the used market. Like somebody that maybe they are now stepping up to like a commercial grade splitter and they have like a older big box store splitter that they want to sell. That would be probably the way that you would probably have the easiest, the smallest impact on your budget getting in. However, you run the risk of, it turning out to be a piece of garbage. But that would probably be the best way to get in and then see how much wood you're selling, see how much wood you're producing, and then maybe save up and then step up to like a commercial grade splitter after that. But the County Line, I mean, from what I've seen, other channels have them and they run great. It's just that they're a little slower, so your output isn't good. You're gonna have to do a little more work. And like I said, to buy one new, they are getting to be kind of expensive. Stan Nelson, is Obi-Wan the worst Star Wars thing ever made? Oh, well, I did watch the entire series, and I enjoyed it. I was entertained by it. It wasn't too bad, but I wasn't overly impressed. I wasn't at that point where like I was anxiously awaiting the next episode. In fact, I actually watched the first one and then I like waited 3 weeks so I could just watch the next 3. So I can see though where fans of Star Wars that are like more Jedi fans enjoyed it. It did tie a few things together and continue to build on the gaps in the storyline. But for me, it was just okay. Nothing too impressive. Tim Thompson, always enjoyed your Q&A sessions. Glad you were bringing them back. Well, thank you very much for that feedback. I'm glad to be bringing them back. I kind of like giving this opportunity to kind of like interact and answer questions other than on the live stream. The live stream is great. I love doing that, but sometimes I just don't get to the questions, and it's kind of more of a fast-paced, quick-moving, environment. And sometimes things get a little out of control. Sometimes. If you were to buy a new splitter, would it be another Wolf Ridge, and what model would it be? Stay safe, my friend. Yes, you stay safe as well, my friend. Have fun and be cool as well. If I were to buy a new splitter, it would probably 90% chance be a Wolf Ridge. The model, I'm not sure. I've thought about it a little bit here in the past, I guess few months, because my splitter will be 4 years old now this fall. There's nothing wrong with it, so I'm kind of one of those people that if it's not broke, you don't need to fix it, don't need to replace it. But again, some of those bigger SHO models wouldn't be bad for towing around. If I were to go down to my parents, go up to Rick's woodyard, go up to my neighbors and split. It would just give, I guess, more options as far as taking the splitter somewhere. The other thing is, as crazy as it sounds, because I have a boiler, but the box wedge, it's kind of nice. I've kind of been looking, just because, if you have a big chunk of wood you throw in your boiler, if that would have been 2 pieces, I mean, all you're really doing is you're adding a little more work loading your boiler. But I think the savings on being able to just put that big round up there and press a lever and push it through multiple times, I don't know. So we'll see. We might give that some more thought. Also, it makes nice bundle size wood. Well, in roadside stand wood. So, but again, nothing in the plans right now. Nothing. No plans on replacing the 28 Pro back there. So, but again, back to the first question. Never say never. Perhaps we'll see what the future holds. All right, and I'm going to do one more question here from the Firewood Doctor, Homestead Fabricator. Do you ever see yourself moving to a bigger property or getting a piece of land nearby and go full-time firewood production? Or would you rather keep having fun with firewood like you are now than make it become a job you have to do? In my opinion, you can still have fun with firewood as a full-time job career with the right mindset. Yes, I totally agree with that last part of your question. Your mindset is 100%. Like if you want it, whatever you're doing, firewood, anything, the old saying, love what you do and you never work a day in your life, definitely can apply to firewood. As far as my plans, and do I ever see myself moving to a bigger property? Probably not. If anything, I might, I have a little more room to expand my woodyard back there. But that, again, would then involve, to justify that, I would have to be increasing, the firewood side of things and selling more, producing more. And right now, I think I'm kind of in that sweet spot. I've kind of found that happy medium of, being able to make enough firewood to have my own supply 2 years ahead, making enough to slowly keep growing and selling more out of the roadside stand, but at the same time not making it, not growing to the point where now it's every day, I have to get a certain amount of wood split or I'm behind on production. And that's what I don't want that at this time. I don't want to, I don't want to every day have to produce a cord of wood just to then stay ahead of production for next year. So I don't see myself getting a larger property. Don't see myself expanding the production too much right now. I actually enjoy creating the content more, equal to, maybe more than the firewood. I am just having way more fun with firewood and the creating of content, YouTube, Facebook, wherever. So that's kind of like my mindset right now. But we'll see. You know, again, you never know. I mean, strange things happen. And sometimes things have a way of happening without you even, wanting them to. And it just all of a sudden one day, the neighbor's lot comes up for sale, and I put in an offer, and I increase my 2 acres to 4 acres, and now I have all this room to do all kinds of stuff. But nope, not at the moment. Just enjoying everything as it is. I think, like I said, it's just that perfect balance. And that is the key to having a happy lifestyle. Balance. You got to have the balance. Back to the Obi-Wan reference in Star Wars. Bring balance to the Force. All right, so there it is. There's another little Q&A session wrapped up. Thanks again, all of you who put those questions in the comments. If I didn't pick yours out, just put it in again, and maybe I will get to it. If there's anything else you want to know and you have a question that you'd like to ask, leave it down in the comments, and maybe in the next Q&A video, I will get to it. I will pick it out and see if I can give you an answer. Hopefully the answers today were sufficient in your expectations. Like I said, sometimes it's just, there's things that you never know what might happen in the future, so it's hard to say, no, I will never have another roadside stand, no, I will not upgrade my splitter, and no, I will not expand my property. Everything is a possibility. So thanks for watching. See you guys next time. Stay safe, have fun, and be cool.